We should also talk today about this man who put his life on the line for nearly 2 decades just to lose it because his insurance carrier denied his cancer treatment. Right, so this is Ken Jones. He was a firefighter with the San Francisco Fire Department for 17 years. He met his wife there, his daughter was born while he worked there, so much of his life was spent protecting that city. Hell, even after he stopped fighting the fires himself, he worked in the department's stress unit, helping connect his colleagues to mental health support. Except it turns out that time that he spent on the front lines, it left him with more than just a few good stories. 14 months ago, Ken was diagnosed with an advanced stage of lung cancer known as adenocarcinoma. He developed painful tumors in his bones, lymph nodes, and brain, and his doctor said that it was likely connected to his time fighting fires. But yeah, makes sense. I mean, even back in 2022, you had the World Health Organization starting to classify firefighting as a carcinogen, or because of the prolonged exposure to smoke and chemicals. But as far as Ken, after his diagnosis, he got started on chemo and immunotherapy, but his doctors had him stop that ahead of schedule in order to try some new medical trials. But those weren't able to slow the cancer's progression as much as they hoped. And so his medical team, including Dr. Matthew Gubins, turned back to immunotherapy with chemo at the beginning of this year. Except what happened is that Blue Shield, Ken's insurance provider through the city, denied coverage. And that's despite the fact that they even acknowledged the immunotherapy prescribed is both FDA approved and within the Medicare guidelines. But they said that both a Blue Shield oncologist and a Medicare-funded independent reviewer determined that Ken was ineligible because he had already gone through other treatments. And immunotherapy is meant to be a first-line therapy. But Dr. Gubins was very quick to push back against that.
There are gray areas and edge cases among our patients where those guidelines just don't apply, where the data aren't as robust, and we have to make clinical decisions in the clinic on the ground.
And he's not just saying that to say that. Dr. Gubins is the head of UC San Francisco's Thoracic Medical Oncology Clinic, and he reportedly helped craft the guidelines for how to best treat cancer patients. He's not a nobody, he's not just some doctor, he knows his shit. And so he decided to call Blue Shield and appeal the decision. But even after hours on the phone, he says that he couldn't get a hold of anyone who could actually do anything.
I reached people who apologized, but they weren't the right place to send the appeal to, and often referred me back to the first person I talked to.
How long were you on the phone?
That day, I spent about 3 hours calling different phone numbers for this insurance company.
So he submitted his appeal in writing, only for it to then get shot down again. And obviously, as all of this is happening, Ken and his family, they're pissed and terrified.
You just automatically depend on that insurance being there. And then when it's not, it's quite a blow.
You didn't expect any of this?
No. Expects to be taken care of.
You had his daughter Rachel adding,
who says no to somebody with stage 4 lung cancer?
You thought it was a mistake?
Yeah, I really did. To me, saying no is saying, I'm okay with you dying.
And she's kind of right. Without the insurance coverage, there wasn't much that Ken could do because the out-of-pocket expense for the treatment that he needed was roughly $50,000, and that's just for one round. In order to have a fighting chance, he'd have to repeat the treatment every 3 weeks for up to 2 years. I mean, we're talking about potentially more than $1 million. But also, they're not just going to give up and take that lying down. And so Ken's family and friends and former colleagues, they take the issue to San Francisco's Health Oversight Board. And while the board, they can't overturn a denial, they're responsible for approving all city employee health plan contracts and could pressure the insurance company to reconsider. And so you had Rachel stand up in front of that board at a public meeting earlier this year, accusing Blue Shield of putting money above her father's life.
Today I'm forced to stand here and beg because an insurance company decided that profits matter more than the life of a man who spent his career protecting this city.
But the oversight officials, they were apparently unmoved, with the executive director for the San Francisco Health Service System siding with Blue Shield and saying, at the heart of the matter is the fact that such services that were denied are not allowed by Medicare, which is also the hill that Blue Shield's dying on as well, despite the fact that Ken and his family quickly disproved that. Ken decided to leave Blue Shield and get on the standard Medicare run by the federal government, with his wife saying that after he switched, Medicare agreed to pay for Ken's immunotherapy with no issue, and adding, Ken's full treatment is now being fully covered by straight Medicare. The San Francisco Health Service System shouldn't allow Blue Shield to get away with it for Ken or other retirees. But this fight with Blue Shield, it led to a serious delay in critical care, and so you had Dr. Gubins saying,
any of our cancer treatments are harder to give and less effective the weaker a patient is when we're seeing them.
And horribly, it all proved too much, and Ken Jones recently passed away, with a former colleague and a close friend saying,
I believe wholeheartedly that they expedited his death. Chemotherapy really is tough. It's tough on your body because it's killing all the good cells as well as the bad. And so, he had to suffer a lot through that. And then being denied further treatment, it's so cruel. It is so cruel.
And as far as Blue Shield, they released a statement saying it was, quote, deeply saddened to learn of Ken's passings and extended condolences to his wife, family, friends, and former colleagues, which you can take as heartfelt, or the company worried that people are going to start Googling who is the CEO and other people in the C-suite. But also, Ken's struggle has also become a catalyst for a major snowball effect in San Francisco, or with government officials jumping in to ask questions as the story was gaining traction. And that including a California Assembly member summoning Blue Shield to explain their denial decision back in February, and the San Francisco supervisors even calling the situation and so much more into question in April. But at the time, asking how widespread denials like this really are among the 40,000 city employees and retirees covered by Blue Shield and 2 other insurance providers. And it turns out, according to the city's health service system, 21% of claims are denied, which definitely raised the alarm for Supervisor Connie Chan, saying that she wants to find out whether this is a solvable administrative issue or if it's something that needs to be addressed before the city renews its contracts with Blue Shield. And with Ken's death, Blue Shield executives are expected to meet with leaders of the local firefighters union and other advocates to talk about real reform. But as far as if there is real meaningful change, we'll wait and see. I'm a cynic. I see and break down stories like this and I go, oh, everything's run by soulless bloodsuckers. But hey, maybe hell will freeze over and I'll get surprised, or the heat will actually get too hot for some people and they might do the right thing.